Hi everybody, Kat here. Welcome to the channel. It is another hot and steamy Saturday morning here in southern Ontario. It's gonna feel like 36 Celsius later today. Just hideously hot. It's not unusual for our summers. But the heat can drive you to distraction, as can Harry and Meghan. Oh my god. The news the last few days, oversaturated. Are you markled out? I kind of am. And that's why today we're going to talk about William and Catherine, the kids, and kind of what's in the future for them. We're going to speculate a little bit and go over some of the things we know and see where it leads us. So we do know that it has been said in the press that William, Catherine, and the kids will be going up to Balmoral as tradition to spend some time. Now, are they going to spend the whole month of August there? Probably not. Who knows? I don't know what their plans are. But they, amongst all the other members of the family, are going to be continuing Queen Elizabeth II's tradition of the family gathering in Balmoral for the summer. Their cookouts, their hikes, every one of the members of the royal family have said how important Balmoral is. It's really their family time, and the king has invited everyone, with the exception of Harry and Meghan, so they're not even going to be there, so we don't have to talk about them right now. They haven't been invited, and I think that's wise. Them being there would just cause so much ruckus and havoc, and they're just, not only are they not worth having around and being troublesome, and the press and the everything that comes along with Harry and Meghan. I would say there's a danger in being in their proximity as well, and I'll go into that in a little bit. But first, let's get back to the main topic of the day, and that is William, Catherine, and the kids. Now, we know that we haven't seen Catherine since Wimbledon. We don't know when her next public appearance might be. Nothing has been said. We do know they're going to go up to Sandringham. Now, or not Sandringham, sorry, Balmoral, up in Scotland, for the family gathering over the summer. The Queen would normally stay there till the end of October. Whether Charles is going to spend that much time, who knows? We'll have to just wait and see how it goes. And after that, of course, for William and Catherine, they're back in Windsor at their home, and the kids are back in school. Now, this year, George turned 11, and he's coming up on 12, which is a pivotal year for an aristocratic kid, especially a royal kid, because even last year there was some discussion of George's future and speculation of what school he might go to and this kind of thing. And at the time, they were saying that Catherine and William were in disagreement regarding this. William, of course, thought that George is attending Eton, however they pronounce it, Eton College, would be the way to go. Going there as a boarder, I suppose, at 12 years old. But then again, you know what? They're close enough. They're just really across the bridge where they are in Windsor, that he could still go to Eton but remain at home, which might well be a good compromise for them. He'll get the education that William wants for him, of course, and satisfy Catherine by keeping him close to home. Indeed, Windsor's just across the bridge from the castle, or from Eton College. When William attended, he used to really just walk over to visit Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip and have tea with them on Sundays, on the weekends. So, real close proximity, and of course, they're living on the Windsor estate, just minutes away from the castle. So, that would be very convenient. That would be very convenient. Another thought is if, as they all are now, the children would all remain in the same school to give them a sense of, the family thing, and they're all kind of the same, even though George isn't the same, and they'll notice that, but I think they're trying to dissolve those lines a little bit with their kids, so it's not such a stark demarcation of, this is the heir, you guys really don't count, and all our attention is going to go to this one, and named George. I think they're trying to raise their children more as a unit, as a family, rather than a succession of heirs. Just my thoughts, and, is it going to work? Maybe a little bit, but there still is going to be those stark differences between the children because of the nature of their positions. Now, George, of course, Eton College, great school. William did well there. As we know, Harry did not. Now, none of the royals are particularly scholarly. And indeed, given the fact that of their position, it would be helpful, to have a decent education, but it's really not necessary. Because, they rely on people around them to have knowledge of what they need, to manage them. But, I think that what they want to do is try to give all the kids kind of the same start in life, the same experiences, so they grow up cohesively as a unit, and there's not that kind of split. But time will tell, later years will tell, but I really don't think that it's possible, just because of the nature of the way that all works, right? But will they or won't they? Will George be going to Eton or another college? Will he be a boarder? Will he be entering boarding school at 12? Or will he stay at home? These are questions we don't know. These are questions they must be discussing. And there are some signs we can look for. If perhaps William and Kate are spotted out at this school or that school, having a meeting, or, looking at schools, we might hear something of that, and then we will know that they are in the mode of decision-making and understand what might be George's fate in the next year. But unlike even when William went to school, it's a hard thing to say, but I think that there's really now an added element of danger for George and the kid. We already know the concerns the Queen and Charles have of William traveling with all the kids in a helicopter, and this is another thing that we can look for, because they said, after the age of 12, Charles no longer traveled with his mother, this or that kind of thing. So the heir, as I've heard, the age of 12, will no longer be traveling with William. That is something that we have to see. Now, see, here's the conflict of it. William is a really ace pilot. And he understands helicopters, and whether it's him flying or they've got a pilot of their own, he thinks that it's perfectly safe. Given the fact that we have somebody like Meghan and Harry over here that are absolutely, I think, crazy and spiteful and deranged, who knows what. I'm not saying, but it is allegedly Meghan's voice on tape saying we're just one plane crash away from the crown. With an attitude like that, I mean, you really have to say, okay, we have to take every precaution possible. You really do. I think it's a dilemma for William because of the way he grew up and lost his mother, and oh my God, and Catherine's sick now, and he wants to keep the family tight and together, and that's understandable, but I think William's in the position now, and he is within the royal circle exerting his power and influence, and he is leading discussions and decisions. And I have said from the beginning of starting this channel that I think William is going to be in a position that he pushes Charles out eventually, and the cancer is just a really hell of a good excuse to get that done. Now, given that William does have an agenda, he's got to be serious about things. Understandably, he knows that Harry and Meghan, by nature of the Sussex Squad and the terrorism they're conducting online, Harry and Meghan are a danger to the monarchy in many, many ways. And somehow that threat's got to be neutralized. And so, what does that mean? That can mean a lot of things. That can mean exile. That can mean cutting off the money, removal of the titles. Those kind of outward actions that will also show the public that the intent is to isolate them. And that would be a welcoming thing, although I don't think that Charles will do that. That's something we would have to look for from William. There's other options to neutralize targets. I'm not going to speculate here. You can do that for yourself, but I think you know where I'm going. And as unfortunate as an event might be, I wouldn't be surprised. We just have to wait and see. There's so much going on, so much behind the scenes that I wish, a fly on the wall, but there we are. Saturday morning, this is where we're at. Have a great weekend, everybody. Here in Ontario, it's a long weekend, or as you say in Britain, a bank holiday, Monday. So we will see you in the next one. I'd love to know what you think about all of this. Leave me a comment. Like, subscribe, share my videos. Let's grow this channel. And we'll see you next one. Bye for now, everybody.